YouTube, what the crap is going on? HeirofCarthage back in Total War Attila with some more online action. In this coming week, I'm going to try and get you a few things. We're going to try and go back and get you another original Rome battle because you all seem to like those. I'll get another medieval battle because you're liking those. I'll have more Attila battles because you seem to like those as well. I may try and throw in another Shogun 2, Rome 2. I mean, I can't promise I'll get all of it in 1 week, but you all seem to be enjoying all of it, and I'll just keep bringing what I can. But I think we'll probably do for a Rome Total War video, and we should probably need to... you seem to really enjoy Napoleon. I'll throw an Empire in there this next week and see what you all think. And people seem to really be enjoying Medieval 2 as well. So, and again, obviously there's going to continue to be Attila battles because this game's new, and I want to put these out for those who are playing the newer game and want to see some footage from that. So again, like I said, I'm just trying to throw some nice variety in here. So this is a battle where I was wanting to play as the Huns again, but my opponent picked the Huns, and then I was like, whatever, I'll take these Romans. And I wanted to do something different. It seems like, I say different, I've still got a lot of cavalry, which is kind of a necessity, but I brought a lot of infantry as well. To bring as many infantrymen as I did in this battle in Attila is pretty atypical for most factions, unless you're playing as the Celts, maybe. I've got 9 Legio Comitatenses, which are not a very commonly seen Roman unit, probably on the multiplayer battlefield, because they are... they're not great. I brought them mainly because they have javelins, and their javelins actually can cause a lot of damage to units with low armor or shields. Horsemen, all that kind of stuff, so I was hoping that their javelins could help make up for their lackluster attack stats, but as with all units of their variety, they actually are quite good when it comes to armor and health and all that kind of stuff, so their staying power is better than their offensive power, and they're quite resistant to missiles as well. So I got 3 Fundatores to help mess up enemy skirmishers, and then, yeah, just got all Legio Comitatenses. I think there's 9 of them. I have 3 Cataphractarii, and then I have 4 Scolae Palatini heavy cavalry, and my opponent, when the battle started, you can see his Hun army over here, and he's got a very weird Hun army, and he started immediately running for the hill, and I was like, oh no, we don't. And so I start chasing him. He sends a single unit of step-mounted brigands to get in my way, and some of these Hun units do have decent attacks versus cavalry, but they're light weight class, and usually their armor, yeah, you can see their armor is pretty lackluster. This unit's got decent stats against cavalry, not good, and you can see that they're getting beat up pretty badly by my Scolae Palatini, and then I'm going to come in from behind with my Magister Militum and just finish this fight off. And then my opponent realizes that I'm going to charge him in the rear, and so he sends all of his cavalry down here. He's got some Noble Akatziri, 2, 3, 4 Noble Akatziri raiders. Now, if these guys had at least medium weight class, they would do a lot better, but because they're light, the nice thing is they're relatively fast, and they have really good melee defense, and they even have like a good spear for fighting against cavalry. So if you can get them into a battle without getting charged, they'll do okay, but just look how badly this Noble Akatziri raider gets beat down on the charge. Very badly is the answer, and you can see that it's their lower health and stuff is really hurting them, whereas my Cataphractarii, well, these were Cataphractarii, so that's part of the reason why they died so fast, but you can see that even against the Cataphractarii, who have better health ratings, it's taking the Noble Akatziris longer to get kills, even though they have a 30 bonus versus large, I believe. So, in theory, they would be okay-ish versus cavalry, but when they're getting charged by these heavier weight classes, they're going to be in a bad position. Now, my opponent does have a lot of these Skiri warriors, whatever. I try to charge them real quick with the Magister Militum, and this is actually going to turn out to be a bad decision for me. I get a nice charge and kills here, but my Magister Militum, I don't know if I remember to take him out of combat or not, and these are some very capable spearmen. 43 attack, and I think a 30 bonus versus large. And yeah, you can see my Magister Militum all of a sudden starts dying very, very quickly, and my general dies very early in the battle, and you can see that my Cataphractarii start to waver because of it almost instantly. And these guys get over here too, and they're causing some serious trouble. I was like, really? And then look, my entire line of Comitatenses, just because the general died and this flaming archer fire, all of them are wavering now. And it's like, my army's going to chain rout, I think. And I honestly thought my opponent's Hun army here was absolutely terrible. It was not very good units, and but because I threw away my cataphracts here, I got a nice charge with them, but my opponent just kept bringing in more cav, and because of that, my general dying, all my cataphractari actually rout here before they probably should have, and so I lose a whole bunch of men here, just very, very bad, and I was like, what? My opponent's army was crap. How did this happen? These spearmen actually have some pretty solid melee stats, and they're actually going to be winning in a head-on engagement with my Legio Comitatenses. The only thing that's going to hurt them is their health is a little lower than my guys, but otherwise they're... Look, my guys are still wavering all over the battlefield. The Hun general is over here still in good shape. He's a steppe chieftain. Fortunately for me, he's not one of the Hun generals that causes scaring. It's so sad that I lost all these cataphractari back here that got shattered. But losing your general like that's stupid, and that's what I get for losing my general. Let's watch my Scoli Palatini, though. Get in here and start writing down some of these ERE archers. So my opponent brought some very elite units here. These ERE archers have very nice health. Their ammo doesn't look all that impressive. Now, they have fired some shots. Their missile damage is quite good, but they're only their health is okay. I don't know how much they cost, but I'm guessing they're not entirely worth it. You can see my Fundatores here are actually hurting these ERE archers pretty badly. My opponent, though, is determined to just keep pouring flaming fire, but now he's going to be getting chased by some Legio Comitatenses who broke through his line, and when they get ganged up on, these ERE warriors, or whatever these guys are not doing so well. The enemy steppe chieftain tries to get into my Fundatores, but I'm chasing him with a Scoli Palatini. This is going to hurt him quite badly, and then my Fundatores can pull back and just pour fire into him, and if I kill my own Scoli, I don't really care. If I kill the enemy general, it's going to finally turn that morale blow around and help my guys out, because like over here, if these guys break against these noble Akatziris, I'm in some huge trouble. So I'm still very much at risk of losing this battle, but yeah, I think I go back here. Let's see if I start pouring in fire from my Fundatores. I can't remember if I did or didn't. I may not have, trying to save my Scoli. And my guys actually managed to hang on out here. Let's get some more in-depth looks. So you can see his spearmen here actually pushing back my Legio Comitatenses. But I got 2 more units coming in. They are quite tired, but they have stabilized in their morale. And the enemy general is about to kick the bucket here. All my guys finally stabilized their morale. I don't know what the reason is. It's probably because they're winning the combat at this point. The enemy archers are now in check. You can see my Scoli here chasing down some of their last archers. And this is really like the last Hun pocket of resistance. You've got their Skiri warriors here, or however you say that, versus my Legio Comitatenses. And I meant to turn up my particle effects. I'll have to try that and see if it improves the blood mod. Some people, or the blood DLC. Some people said it does, but otherwise these blood effects are weak. Seriously weak. I could always turn down the shadows a little and turn up the particles and see if we get a nice trade-off there. But yeah, so that's pretty much the end of that fight, and then there's this one unit of ERE archers back here that's just going to chain route from fear. They're not going to last. So, yep, very weird Hun army. I didn't expect this to be a close battle. It ended up being a close battle. Well, are those Hun units that he brought any good? Let's go take a look real quick, and I'll tell you what I think. I don't think they're particularly good. And let's try something real quick just for the sake of. While I got a second here, let's go into graphics and get into the custom piece. And right now I'm running on the recommended settings that NVIDIA gave me for the card that I have. So just seeing how it worked. Let's turn some of this stuff off. So if we go to, we can probably save some frame rates. Shadows, let's just go to let's go to quality. Yeah, we've already got texture resolution, or no, that's texture. They said particles. Particles is also on max quality. So yeah, sorry. Not really. I'm gonna keep the shadows turned down just a smidge though, because it ought to help. Yeah, so it's not the particle effects that are doing it. I've got max particle effects, so unfortunately the blood mod or blood DLC is just completely underwhelming. I was gonna try it and see if it made a big difference, but I mean it is horribly underwhelming. To the point that and again I say this with all due respect, I like the people at CA a lot and I enjoy working with them, but I do think you owe it to us to revisit that. It's pretty weak. if you look at the blood mod that we got or the blood DLC we got in Rome 2, and especially the one that we got in Shogun 2, it's not on the same level and just needs some work. Again, I appreciate the effort, but I'm just giving some honest feedback that I feel like it needs to be improved, and that it would be a nice thing to do for the fans of the game and those folks who have purchased it. Anyway, not going to stay on that forever. Let's get into what I was going to show you, the Huns. Yeah, so these units that he brought, this is some very good melee attack for spears, very good. It's just the melee damage of them is never really going to be all that great. So that's where you're going to suffer, like even if you're laying down a decent attack. Plus, when you look at it, armor's 40, it's not bad. I mean, let's see how it stacks up against, like, say, the Luigi Kamita Tensei that I was using. Not spear infantry. So here's our Legio Kamita Tensei. So we're going to have better health by a good shot, better armor by about 10, the same melee defense, more melee damage. So although my guys will be landing fewer hits, the hits that they land are going to be more damage. Less armor piercing, but more damage. And then I've got missiles just the same that the Hun units do. So, I mean, they're very expensive for what you're going to get back out of them in an infantry fight. And as far as killing cavalry, they'll be quite good at it. With all that melee attack and then a 30 bonus versus large, I'm assuming, they will be very good against cav. And they do. They've got a 30 bonus versus large, so they will have an impressive attack versus cavalry. Imagine, though, that those would have been UR warriors against my Legio Kamita Tenseis, and they're actually less expensive. Again, my opponent's army almost routed mine. Let's take a look at these UR archers. Yeah, only 18 ammunition for 500 and 150 range. You do get nice missile damage, both whistling, flaming, and heavy shot. Precision and rapid advance, but still not really seeing how that's gonna pan out from a cost standpoint. Just not enough killing power, I don't think, on these bows to make it worth it. I mean, 50 damage is nice, but I mean, does it just add more base damage, or does it add armor piercing? Is more armor piercing? Maybe good. It is more armor piercing. I doubt it's really worth it, though. And then you can see the other problem that he's going to have, like when he brings in these, let's see, Noble Akatziri Raiders. Oh, that's Shock Cav, sorry, my bad. So they're going to be right here. So again, these guys are going to have a very nice attack versus Cav. This was changed in the last patch. So I mean, in all reality, they have 56 versus Cav and then 62. So it's 56-62 versus Cav, but just imagine that stacked up against, say, like, if we go over here and pull up East Roman Skoli Platini Cav, which is actually less expensive than the Noble Akatziri. The Noble Akatziri has more melee defense and basically the same armor, so a lot of stuff's there, but its health is less, which is very bad. And then if you look, we've already got 49 melee attack here, and we get a 20 bonus versus cavalry, so that puts me up to 69-52. Which means my guys still have better stats than the Noble Akatziri, and my guys are medium, whereas theirs are light, which means that they're going to lose on the impact damage on the charge. And I have more health. So you pay more for a Hun unit that's lighter, weaker, and less capable. That's why the Huns suffer in melee, and the cost of that Hun unit is higher. Why is the cost? You may be asking, why is the cost of the Hun unit higher? It's because they're a Raider cavalry. And the annoying thing about that is that in multiplayer, being a Raider cavalry doesn't mean anything unless you're playing a siege battle. So the problem with a Noble Akatziri Raider is, even if you were going to play a siege battle, you're really going to bring an expensive cav like this to burn down towers and stuff like that, or to start buildings on fire. Maybe, I don't know. But this Raider trait here makes them more expensive. And it's unfortunate because it doesn't do them many favors for an open field battle. And I think that's, again, some of the stuff that's hurting the Huns. I like their units. I like that they're fast and they're light. Another idea that I could throw out there, if they wanted to consider other changes, so like in Barbarian Invasion, certain Horde units were larger than standard units, and the Huns had some of these. Could you maybe take like a Hunnic mounted warband, leave it at its current cost and stats and everything, and just, if the typical number of men in a unit is 60, could you up it to like 75? Would that be worth it if you gave these units more men? Good question. I'd like to throw that out there and see what y'all think. 75 or 80 for the Hun unit. you know, it's something that we all kind of thought about for a while in Rome too. Also, couldn't you just potentially make the barbarian units bigger or the pike units bigger? It was done in previous Total Wars, and it actually works. So just a suggestion. Anyway, like I said, hope you all enjoyed this battle. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.